Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT. The Microsoft Xcloud streaming game service is going to completely change and revolutionize the entire video game industry as we know it. Physical media will always be around, but what Microsoft is doing with this streaming service that they announced back at E3 2018 is going to change everything. And starting with what they've already been talking about behind the scenes, and lots of rumors swirling right now, with Microsoft, with Nintendo, putting Microsoft Xbox One games on a Nintendo Switch, which in theory is kind of crazy because yeah, the Switch is powerful when you compare it to other consoles of previous generations, but comparing it to the Xbox One and PS4, it doesn't really hold much weight. This is where the xCloud comes in. Microsoft working behind the scenes creating incredible technology to be able to power these Xbox One games to run on a portable console that doesn't have the power necessary to even use them in the first place. It's mind-blowing what they're able to do with this. And once Microsoft moves forward with what they plan on doing and telling people at this year's Game Developers Conference, they're going to explore new possibilities that nobody could have seen coming. First off, what is xCloud? It's a streaming video game service that actually works, which on the surface doesn't sound like such a big deal, but when you consider companies like Capcom trying to stream Resident Evil 7 on the Switch in Japan and having tons of issues, hiccups, glitches, almost completely unplayable, it made a lot of gamers think that the streaming service is not anytime soon in our near future. Maybe it's going to be kicked down the road, 10 years from now. Streaming game services will come back when technology is there. But Microsoft has been pouring tons of money into this xCloud service to get it right, and they're excited to use it. They're so excited to use it that they want to use it on other platforms that aren't just Microsoft. They want to work with Nintendo and be able to bring Microsoft first-party games to the Nintendo Switch to show the world how great this xCloud service really is. And once that happens, it's going to completely blow away the entire video game industry. There are a lot of people that are hesitant to pick up on a streaming platform service. They don't want to let go of their physical media. They want to be able to hold something, to touch it, to put it into their console. But once these gamers get to see the benefits of what the xCloud presents to them, it's going to be changing a lot of minds very quickly. Now, for me personally, I've always been one who preferred physical media. I've always been against technology progressing into streaming services because I don't want to pay monthly fees for my games. I want to buy them, own them, and be able to play them whenever. But the direction of the industry has been shifting away from that for a very long time. And the more these companies are able to put games into a streaming service, the better it's going to be for everybody. And that kind of hurts to say. I never really wanted to accept that, but the more I'm looking into this, the more I'm seeing the benefits of it, and the more I'm seeing all my physical media pile up and I'm doing nothing with it, I prefer something streaming, something more convenient, something more affordable. Instead of dropping $60 on every single brand new game, not to mention if we're talking AAA titles, their gold, their platinum packages that are $80, $100, $120 or $30, it gets very expensive very quickly. Now, if you look at Xbox Game Pass, which is different from the xCloud, and let me clarify this, the Game Pass is basically a Netflix-style service where you pay a monthly fee and you get access to all these games that you can download and play on your system. But if you're able to combine the Microsoft Game Pass with Microsoft's xCloud and be able to stream tons of games that are available for one low monthly fee, I mean, let's be real, it just makes sense. Not to mention, some of these games on the Xbox One are gigantic. We're talking 50 gigs, 60 gigs or more for some of these games. It's getting insane. Just imagine the memory cards you would need to put on your Switch if you were going to be downloading these games, which for a lot of people, that's the size of the memory card they have in the Switch. They wouldn't be able to put anything else on it while that game was downloaded. But if we brought that game to the xCloud, you wouldn't need to download it. You would just be able to stream and play it. Not to mention, like I said at the very beginning of this, the Switch just isn't nearly as powerful as what the Xbox One is able to present to the end user. So by streaming Xbox games on the Nintendo Switch, it doesn't require the hardware, the graphics processing power to be able to play them. You use computers from somewhere else in Microsoft's network, and they just allow it to flow to the system and be playable. It's like magic. It reminds me of way back when the Switch was first coming out. There was this app called the Rainway app, and that was going to allow gamers to stream games from their PC and play them on their Switch, but they ran into a lot of hiccups, a lot of legal hurdles, a lot of problems, and Rainway never really came to fruition on the Switch. And now looking at Microsoft and assuming fully that they're able to fluidly stream these games to the Nintendo Switch without hiccups, without problems, imagine the barriers this is going to break for the entire video game community. The industry at large is going to change dynamically. People will look at video games completely different than they had leading up to this. It's going to blow the old business model of buying games out of the water. It won't exist traditionally anymore. So GameStop, if you're listening to this, yes, that's even more bad news on top of last quarter's earnings. The actual way games are being sold is changing, and Xcloud is going to prove that. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, but once this technology is embraced by gamers and they see the benefits of it, it's going to change everything. This partnership between Microsoft and Nintendo is one of the worst kept secrets in all of video games right now. Larry Herb on Twitter is basically telling everyone, hey, we got something going on in the background, here's a little teaser. They know something's happening, they want to let the public know it's happening, but they can't officially announce anything yet. Not until the Game Developers Conference takes place, at least, where they're able to elaborate further on what they plan on implementing with the Xcloud when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. As far as the games are concerned, there's already been rumors swirling of officially confirmed games that will be coming to the Switch, but I want to make it clear, nothing has actually been announced. These are just rumors. But Cuphead will be coming to the Switch. Ori and the Blind Forest will be coming to the Switch. And most likely, a big first-party game like Halo or Gears of War will be coming to the Switch via Xcloud, via the streaming service of Microsoft. It's the only way it would actually be able to work anyways with the technology available on the Switch. With that all being said, it's very exciting to be a gamer right now, and the marriage between Nintendo and Microsoft, they're both living in Redmond, Washington right now, so as far as the US is concerned, this is going to be mutually beneficial to both parties. Microsoft has a terrible presence in Japan, and if they're able to put their games on a very established platform in Japan, like the Nintendo Switch, it's going to broaden their audience even further. And for Nintendo being able to offer Microsoft games on the Switch, it's a value proposition that any other game company would not be able to tell you. It's a shot across the bow at Sony, and I'm not really sure how Sony would be able to compete with this. At this point in time, if this all comes to fruition, the way it's looking right now, it's going to put Nintendo in the driver's seat for the long run. Which is something that just a few years ago, when the Wii U was dying off, was insane to even say. But then again, it was insane to say that Master Chief would ever show up on a Nintendo platform. This is going to open so many potential doors for gamers to be able to play their favorite games. Super Lucky's Tale, which is a game that I never got around to playing, but if it showed up on the Switch, I would definitely play it. So many games are like that. Yes, I have an Xbox One, but I don't typically fire it up to play video games. I prefer playing my games on the Switch where I can take it on the go and play it anywhere. If I was able to play fantastic games on the go, I would sign up for that service in a heartbeat. And Microsoft and Nintendo know that. As far as the backroom deals and how the money's going to work out, no idea how they're going to split that, but I am interested because if Nintendo is adding Microsoft games onto their platform, that is going to be competition for their own first-party games, which we all know Nintendo doesn't like having competition for their games. They want to be the #1 on their own platform. So it is interesting that Nintendo is open to the idea of this. The old Nintendo would never do this. The new Nintendo, anything's game right now. Nothing would surprise me with what they announce, and that's a good thing. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that, but I'd be very interested to hear what you guys have to say about Microsoft xCloud, these games that will be coming to the Switch, if you're excited about it, and if so, which game would you definitely want to play on your Switch? And if you would buy this service, how much would you pay per month for it? There's so many different questions, so many different directions we could go with this. I'm very interested to hear where everyone stands on this situation. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.